Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Gonna be giving you an update on Manchester United's transfer news. So according to Mundo Deportivo, Manchester United are gonna go back in for Ousmane Dembele in January. And reportedly we could sign him for £45 million. Now, don't forget we inquired about getting Ousmane Dembele in the summer transfer window. Now, Barcelona are open to selling him. I think they are looking to sell around 5 players so they can generate money. Barcelona, they'd prefer a straight purchase. But I think we want to get Ousmane Dembele on loan with the obligation to buy next summer. Now, do you think Ousmane Dembele would be a good signing for Manchester United? Now, he's endured over 3 years now at Barcelona. He has sustained quite a few injuries as a Barcelona player. So he is injury prone, and that is my element of concern about him, basically. He has got a contract with Barcelona until 2022. Barcelona did get him in a deal worth around £135 million from Borussia Dortmund back in 2017. Barca did pay like 96 or was it 97 million up front, and there was obviously add-ons included. At the time Barcelona got him, he was the second joint most expensive player. He is in his early 20s. You know, he can play in each flank and he can also play centrally. Now, Liverpool have also inquired about getting him before. I thought Ousmane Dembele was very, very good when he was at Borussia Dortmund. He was also very, very good at Rennes when he was younger. And we're basically seeing him as one of our alternatives to Jadon Sancho. So that is the breaking news on him. Now, I want to delve into some news on Jadon Sancho because Man United could go in for him next year. Now, don't forget, during the summer transfer window, Jadon Sancho was our #1 priority target. The main explanation why we didn't get Sancho during the summer transfer window is because we was not willing to meet Borussia Dortmund's asking price. Borussia Dortmund wanted £108 million for him. And I even think, that was too much. But it was saying during the summer transfer window that, we'd come to an agreement on the personal terms and the agent fees, and that had been agreed. And he even mentioned that a contract had been agreed. And quite a few times, Fabrizio Romano was talking about the Sancho saga. James Cooper mentioned it a couple of times. And, there was a lot of trustworthy in it. But during the summer, you had Borussia Dortmund sporting director Michael Zorg saying that, he was going to stay. And obviously he has done. Lucien Favre, Borussia Dortmund's boss, he also said the exact same thing, and even Sebastian Kell said it. But Sancho said a few times during the summer transfer window that he wanted to come to Manchester United, and I give you a few of the main explanations why I wanted him at the football club, because he's got a good friendship with Marcus Rashford. And he's done well during his time at Borussia Dortmund. Well, obviously he hasn't done well this season. He struggled, but prior to that he has done well. He's endured over 3 years or so now at Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund only paid £8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. He endured a couple of years at Man City. The main explanation he left Manchester City is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities. And before he was at City, he was at Watford. And he was at Watford from the age of 7 to the age of 14. I think Sancho has got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2023. And don't forget, we was willing to offer him the number 7. Obviously now Edison Cavani is our number 7. But yeah, if Jadon Sancho's bad vein of form continues, then I think, we could get him for the reasonable fee next year. He certainly won't cost us £108 million, will he? Dortmund have let quite a few players go though, haven't they, in recent years? They let the likes of Aubameyang go, they let Christian Pulisic go, they let Ousmane Gundogan go, they let Mkhitaryan go, they let Matt Hummels go, they let Robert Lewandowski go, Ousmane Dembele. So there you go. They've also made some good signings in recent years as well. They brought Erling Haaland in, they brought Jude Bellingham in, they brought Julian Braun in, they brought Thorgan Hazard in. So there you go. So that is the latest news on that. Now, I want to delve into some news on Mason Greenwood. Now, Man United are going to change contract plans for Mason Greenwood. Now, we are concerned about Mason Greenwood's outside activities. Mason Greenwood wasn't involved in the game against Everton because he was out with illness. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had confirmed that. And he's not been included in the England squad this week. And he's been withdrawn from the England squad now quite a few times. Don't forget, at one point he was taken out of the England squad with Phil Foden. Solskjaer has been defending Mason Greenwood though in recent weeks. Don't forget, the other week he denied that his timekeeping was poor. Now, I presume Mason Greenwood should be available for the game against West Brom after the international break. Mason Greenwood has got a contract with Man United until 2023, hasn't he? And at the start of the season, we give him the number 11 shirt. So Mason Greenwood is the 4th Manchester United player to wear the number 11. And this is his 2nd season in the senior squad. Obviously, last season was his 1st season in the senior squad, Mason Greenwood's. But I think he's definitely the foreseeable future for Manchester United. So that is the breaking news on him. Now, Manchester United should be beating West Brom after the international break. Obviously, West Brom have not won any of their games in the Premier League this season so far. And they are sitting 18th in the Premier League, so they are in the relegation zone. West Brom. Hopefully, we can build on that win against Everton. We had a very, very good win against Everton recently, beating them by 3-1. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes scored 2 goals, also got an assist in the game, and also Edison Cavani scored his first goal for Manchester United. That was good to see. We saw Rashford and Luke Shaw also get an assist in the game. Ole Solskjaer was under a lot of pressure going into that game, and if we'd have failed to beat Everton, then I think Solskjaer would have been sacked as Manchester United manager. Reflecting on the win, some pressure would have eased off Ole, but not all of the pressure would have eased off him. Now, if we do well after the international break, then more pressure will ease off him, won't it? I think we're currently now sitting, 14th in the Premier League. We've not yet won at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. So hopefully we can get our first win at Old Trafford against West Brom. It's our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. Now, Mauricio Pochettino is the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the football club. Now, Mauricio Pochettino, I think, is a better manager than Solskjaer because Pochettino is well proven in the Premier League. He's also dealt with top players and he's got a good philosophy. Like I've said several times before, my only element of concern about him, he has not won anything in terms of silverware. You know, he's been managerless now for like a year because he was sacked from Tottenham last year, Pochettino. But he did endure 5.5 years with Tottenham and he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final last year. He also guided them to the League Cup final and he guided them to 2 FA Cup semi-finals. And analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. Before he was at Tottenham, he was at Southampton. He enjoyed a short tenure with Southampton. But he did guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League era. And before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. So he's managed 3 clubs so far in his managerial career. Now, it recently said that we could miss out on him if we don't act soon because I heard that Pochettino is considering taking the PSG job. Man City have been interested in him. Real Madrid have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him. He said the other week that Zenit St. Petersburg were in talks to get him. And Newcastle at one point were in for him. But yeah, the Manchester Evening News have recently said, didn't they, that we've approached Mauricio Pochettino to become the club's new manager. And last Monday, Pochettino was on Monday Night Football and he said he misses football and he's ready for a return to management. But Pochettino was linked with the managerial role at Man United after Jose Mourinho got sacked. Obviously, Julian Nagelsmann, he's been on our agenda. He's currently the manager of RB Leipzig. You know, Julian Nagelsmann is regarded as one of the best young coaches in the world. RB Leipzig appointed Julian Nagelsmann in, was it, last year? And last season, he guided RB Leipzig to a 3rd place finish. Also guided them to the Champions League semi-finals. And they've had a pretty good start to the Bundesliga this season. So would you take him at Man United? He's one of the alternatives to Pochettino. We've also been looking at Massimiliano Allegri. He's the former Juventus manager. Isn't there? But there's not only a change of management needed at Manchester United. I think the club also need a new board because we've been critical of our board for several years. Reflects on how poor our recruitment policy's been and we've also overpaid for players and a lot of that. But Solskjaer hasn't been backed enough as Manchester United manager. I don't think any of our managers have been backed enough since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know, we missed out on all of our priority targets in the summer transfer window. That really infuriated me. Woodward's been at the football club since 2012 and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005 and all of that. And Solskjaer revealed a few times during the summer transfer window that he was very infuriated with the board. You know, I think we also need to recommend a director of football into the club because that's one of the structural changes that we need at Manchester United. And we've been in the process of trying to get a director of football in since the Jose Mourinho era. Before, there was a few former Man United players linked with that role. He said the other week was interested in recommending Louis Campos in. Yeah. Obviously, there's still deadwood in the squad. We'll be looking to get rid of more players next year. I think next year we'll be looking to offload Jesse Lingard. We'll be also looking to offload Rojo, looking to offload Jones, Sergio Romero. He's open to leaving the club. He's already said that he wants his contract terminated. I think we could loan Daniel James out next year. I think Brandon Williams could be loaned out, because Williams is now our third choice left back, isn't he? He's now our third choice left back. A lot of United fans are expecting Paul Pogba to leave the football club next year. Nemanja Matic, he could leave next year because he doesn't get in the team a lot now, does he? He's lost his place in the team. Juan Mata, do you think he could also be sold next year? I think we need at least 4 signings if we are to mount any title challenge up. Now, obviously, Ole Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager now for almost 2 years. He has got a contract with the football club until 2022. We appointed him in December 2018 to replace Jose Mourinho, and he's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. Now, I think the club did make a mistake by giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently, but the main explanation for giving the job permanently was reflect on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. So I think he's in a position he shouldn't be in. There again, I think the club have made a catalogue of mistakes in the last 7 years or so, and that's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. Obviously, if we was to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it would cost the club around £4 or £5 million. But that's totally contrast to the 18 million, that we paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho. You know what I mean? And I said, didn't I, this season that Ole has got to exceed his expectations at the football club if he is to remain Manchester United manager. And I said, what would represent a good season for Man United this season? That would be a top 4 finish and win a trophy. Because obviously we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under Ole, and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. But like I said, this is his second full season at the football club. He's managed over 100 games for Man United in all competitions. He's won around 57 games as Manchester United manager. I think his team selections are questionable as well. Obviously, we've got Donny van de Beek in there. He's not getting enough chances, because he's not yet made his full Premier League debut for the football club. And Donny van de Beek didn't play any part in the 3-1 win against Everton. But Donny van de Beek has started our last 2 games in the Champions League, hasn't he? We paid £40 million for him from Ajax, didn't we? And Donny van de Beek signed a 5-year contract with the club with an option of a further year, and he currently wears that number 34 shirt. He did start Juan Mata against Everton. There was questions around that as well. I don't really understand why Alex Telles didn't play against Everton, because there was reports prior to that game saying that Alex Telles has been back in training and he could be making his Premier League debut against Everton. I think Telles will be a very, very good signing for the club. He made his debut against PSG and he was very, very good, wasn't he? We paid around, was it €15 million for Telles with add-ons included, and Telles signed a 4-year contract with the club with an option of a further year. So there you go. And like I've said to you so many times before, Solskjaer hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career. Obviously, when he was at Molde, he won a few Norwegian titles and that, but obviously Molde are a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff and he enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. The main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated, didn't he? But reflecting on how long he's been at Man United, you've got to say he's gained managerial experience. But as a player, Solskjaer was brilliant. He was like a super sub, wasn't he? He's a club legend. He enjoyed 11 years as a player for Manchester United. This is why I want his managerial tenure to work out. Now, I have taken positives from his tenure, haven't I? Quite a few. I think he showed a lot of tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games. Our record against the top six sides has been pretty impressive since he came in. He's made some good signings since he got appointed in as Manchester United manager. Ollie's enjoyed 4 transfer windows at the club so far and spent over £200 million. We've also seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. I also like the way he has promoted the youth. Last season, Ollie got us Champions League qualification. He also got us third and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. And last season was his first full season at the football club. So yeah, they are the positives you can take. But Ollie is our 4th permanent manager since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson. That was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. And we haven't only had different managers with different philosophies in the last 7 years or so. We've obviously recruited over 30 odd players in since Ferguson left and spent close to the £1 billion range on them. We've only won, 4 trophies since Ferguson left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield under Jose Mourinho. That came in Jose Mourinho's first season. You know what I mean? We've also got players on big contracts at the football club. We've overpaid for players in recent years. Like I said earlier on, 89 million for Pogba, 80 million for Maguire, 52 million for Fred, 40 million for Matic. We paid 75 million for Lukaku back in 2017, 50 million pounds for Wan-Bissaka. So there you go. But to be honest with you, there's players at Manchester United that have really, really impressed me recently. I've got to be honest, Marcus Rashford's impressed me recently. Rashford put a very, very good performance out against Everton. In the last couple of games prior to that, though, wasn't that good. Rashford got an assist against Everton. He got a hat-trick against RB Leipzig. He became the second Man United player to score a hat-trick as a substitute. He also scored late on in Paris. That was the second time he'd done that. And Rashford recently turned 23 years of age. Rashford has been part of the club for several years, hasn't he? Been at Man U over 15 years now because he's been with us since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Marcus Rashford. Now, Bruno Fernandes has also impressed me recently. He's impressed me in the vast majority of his games anyway since he come to Manchester United. Obviously scored twice at Goodison Park, like I said, also got an assist. By the way, Solskjaer was left frustrated by Fernandes, not on his performance obviously, but regarding his positioning, I think. Bruno Fernandes was very, very poor against Besiktas because he was dispossessed around 34 times. Fernandes has endured around 9 months at the football club. He's won the Premier League Player of the Month a couple of times. He also won some Matt Busby Player of the Year award, didn't he? Reflecting on his good performances. I think Bruno Fernandes has scored around 5 goals in the league this season, something like that. And I think he scored, is it around 13 Premier League goals for the club. We paid €55 million for Bruno Fernandes. €55 million equates to around 47 million in pounds sterling. But he's the best signing we've made under Ollie and one of the best signings we've made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Bruno Fernandes revealed that he hasn't been happy with Ollie in that recently. Not so long ago, he was talking about Paul Pogba, wasn't he, as well? But there you go. Now, Fred has really impressed me recently. Fred's not a world-class midfielder by all means, but I still think he's good. Fred performed very well at Everton. I like the way he kept the ball, dictated the play well, got forward well, and he really is improving as a Manchester United player. We paid big money for Fred. Like I said, we paid £52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. Fred's got a contract with the football club till 2023. Fred didn't play any part in the Besiktas game. He was poor against Arsenal the other week when we lost 1-0, gave the ball away far too many times, Fred. But I think he's better than McTominay, Fred. Fred's been playing alongside McTominay a lot recently. I don't rate McTominay a lot. He's had some good games as a Man United player, but I've obviously, criticised him a lot before Scott McTominay, haven't I? So, yeah. Harry Maguire, he's also another one that's really impressed me recently. He stepped up to the plate and he's bounced back from his early season troubles because, don't forget, Harry Maguire had a few knocks. He had a red card in England's 1-0 defeat to Denmark, don't forget. He also had that incident in Greece the other month. But he hasn't let it affect him, He just basically said, he's focusing on his football, Harry Maguire. He was very good against Everton, wasn't he? Harry Maguire's our captain. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because we got him for £80 million. We did definitely overpay for him. Harry Maguire. De Gea, I've also been very impressed with him recently. He really has rejuvenated himself. I've already said to you, David De Gea will remain our number one this season. This is David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant at the football club. De Gea has made over 400 appearances for Man United in all competitions. 300 odd of those appearances have come in the Premier League. But he has made a lot of calamitous mistakes in the last couple of years, and that's the main explanation why I've been critical of him, David De Gea. But yeah, I do believe Dean Henderson will become our number one at some point. If we were to sell David De Gea next summer, I think we'd get from between 50 to 60 million pounds for him. But yeah. Juan Mata has impressed me in the vast majority of the games he's played in this season. He really has. He wasn't so good against Everton, though, I don't think. But I thought he was very good in both our Carabao Cup games against Brighton and Luton. He was also good in the Newcastle game, Juan Mata. Juan Mata's enjoyed a good 6 years or so at the football club. He has. And he scored 50 goals for Man United in all competitions. We paid just under £40 million for Juan Mata from Chelsea back in 2014. It wasn't so long ago he rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Donny van der Beek, I've been impressed with him when he's played, but he's hardly played, has he really? Let's be honest, Donny van der Beek. He needs more chances, like I said earlier on, at Manchester United. I think Solskjaer's trying to figure out his best position, basically. Donny van der Beek, I think, is predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. When he started against RB Leipzig, he was playing in that number 10 role, wasn't he? Donny van der Beek. Yeah. I think there is a few players at Manchester United, though, that do need to step up to the plate. Wan-Bissaka, I think he needs to step up to the plate because in his last few games, he has looked a bit off the pace, being caught out too many times on that right flank. He's had some good games this season, Wan-Bissaka, don't get me wrong, but needs to step up his game. This is Wan-Bissaka's second season at Manchester United. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. Victor Lindelof, I think he needs to step up to the plate. You know, he's definitely nowhere near on Harry Maguire's level. He's had some good games this season, Lindelof, but I've still got reservations about him. I think Paul Pogba, you know, he needs to step up to the plate. You know, analysing the vast majority of his Man United career, he has been very, very poor. Let's be honest, he's only had a good couple of periods. I give you the news on Paul Pogba yesterday, didn't I? Real Madrid are considering making a move for him next summer, and they could delay a move for Eduardo Camavinga. Paul Pogba made an admission saying that one day his dream is to join Real Madrid. But like I said to you, Man United and Solskjaer have got to solve the Paul Pogba issue. Paul Pogba's not getting starts now, is he, in the Premier League? Solskjaer's first choice midfield trio is Fred McTominay and Bruno Fernandes, isn't it? I don't think Daniel James is that good, and I think, you know what I mean? He needs to step up to the plate. That's when he does play. He doesn't really play a lot now, though, does he? McTominay, you know, he needs to step up to the plate as well. So these are few. By the way, Luke Shaw's got a hamstring injury. I think he's out till December. Rashford's got a problem with his shoulder. Bay's out with a muscle injury, as you all know. He's out for a few weeks. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.